I just want to say, unlike the State of the Union, you don't need to stand up and sit down every time I say something. So, you're doing well so far.
What happened would stand up anyway.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. So now let's dive into the work of our evening. And tonight I'm thinking a lot about potential. There's so much potential in our community. And I lost my spot, so let's pause. There we go. There's so much potential in this room and in our entire community. The State of the City Address is a chance for us to share some of the great things that have happened in Philomath over the past year and give an update about some of the challenges and opportunities ahead, as well as offer a roadmap for our future. I like to call it sort of our annual report to our shareholders, to you, our voters, our taxpayers, our community members. We owe it to you to keep you informed and to govern the city in your best interest. Now, I realize I do this every day, and our counselors and our staff does this every day, but not everyone does. So I'm going to start with a quick little civics lesson. See that? There we go. So, the city of Philomath operates under a council-manager form of government. So, what that means is we have elected volunteer city councilors and a mayor. So, all of the people who govern your town are volunteer neighbors. And then we have professional staff who run the day-to-day operations of the city. In Philomath, our city manager is Chris Workman, and our assistant city manager is Chelsea Starner. These are our current city councilors, in addition to myself as the mayor. This is our city organization. So you can see Philomath residents, voters, are at the top of our org chart. You are in charge of our town. You elect your mayor and your city council. In turn, the mayor and the city council appoint a city manager, a city attorney, and a municipal judge. And then everyone else in the city reports through the city manager to the city council. So the work of the city council is those big picture ideas, those policies, those strategies. And the work of our staff is to implement those policies, to implement those big ideas, and to make that a reality. So when I said it's a team sport, I really do mean that. I also want to make sure on the topic of community engagement that you know you are always invited to join us at City Hall on the second and fourth Monday of the month at the City Hall Council Chambers. And if you can't be there in person, you can join us on Zoom or YouTube. But with that, let's move ahead. Because I like to say that local government is democracy at its finest. It's democracy as it was intended to be. The people who govern your town are not some far-off politicians in a marble palace somewhere. We're your neighbors, we're your community members, and we're volunteers who are entrusted to make big decisions for a period of time. And once our time is up, other neighbors will take our place. When you have a concern or a question, you can give us a call, an email, grab a cup of coffee with us. You can stop us in the park and lodge a complaint, and I know firsthand that some of you do that. And that is a good thing. Democracy is government of the people, for the people, by the people. That is what makes our community stronger, and that's what we're doing here tonight. Tonight marks exactly 1 year since I was sworn in as mayor, and since our new councilors were sworn in to their terms. 1 year ago tonight, I made a commitment and I made a request. I committed to governing collaboratively and with deep engagement with all of you. And I requested that you all be an active part of that you show up, you make your voices heard, and you contribute to this beautiful place that we call home. Last year, I also presented a little analogy, maybe an overextended analogy. In fact, how many of you here tonight joined us for that swearing-in ceremony last year? Okay. If you were here, you might have an idea of what's under this beautiful City of Philomath sheet over here. Any guesses from the crowd?
The canvas.
Well, how did you know? Last year, I told the story of Philomath's blank canvas. Over the last decade or 2 decades, our city has planned and accomplished many significant projects and policies. But now, we're turning a new page. We're presented with a blank canvas for what we want to do next. It's our opportunity to paint a picture of what we want Philomath to look like in the future. It's our opportunity to unlock our potential. Last year, I brought this blank canvas to signal the potential that lies ahead for all of us. Well, folks, let's see what this canvas looks like today. I know. Well, look at that! Okay, in my defense, it's only been a year. But no, and we have not painted our canvas yet. This year, I like to say, we have been focusing on getting our tools ready, on setting the stage, right? If you're an artist, you don't just get the canvas and immediately have a painting. You figure out where your colors are going to be. You need to get your brushes. You need to get ready to rumble. And that's what we've been doing this year. In fact, I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to paint this canvas. And our city council is not going to paint this canvas either. That job is up to every single one of you and everyone who makes up a part of the Philomath community. Everyone needs to pick up a brush and help paint our future together. Over the past year, your city council has taken public engagement seriously. We've launched a new city website, which makes it easier to contact your local officials and learn about city government. We've published a newsletter format that makes it easier to know what's going on and allow residents to get personalized text and email notifications for city issues that they care about. And we've been rolling out our new city logo and branding to make your public services more recognizable and approachable. We've gone into our schools and we've heard from dozens of students about their ideas for Philomath. And we selected 2 junior mayors as part of the If I Were Mayor contest, which is happening again right now, folks. Counselors and staff have held dozens of monthly coffee conversations, farmers market booths, music in the park tables, and so much more. We've been active on social media and in your mailboxes, making sure you know about upcoming city business and opportunities to engage. We have made it a point to meet our neighbors where you are, rather than constantly waiting for you to come to us. We've been so proactive, in fact, we may have come and knocked on your door. City councilors and volunteers have gone door to door for specific neighborhoods to talk about upcoming projects like bike lanes or tree giveaways, or to give an invite to a neighborhood block party to celebrate the reopening of a park. It's these personal connections that power us. Talking outside of City Hall, meeting people on their doorstep or at the park, it's what pushes us forward. So tonight, Crystal, I want to give each of you a paintbrush, because this blank canvas will only be painted with the bright, beautiful picture of the future of our town if we pick up our paintbrushes and create that picture together. So our staff is literally going to give you each a paintbrush right now. I didn't know there were going to be party pictures. But this is serious, because as I talk about the future of our city tonight, I want you to hold that paintbrush. And as we're talking about where we've been and where we're going, I want you to think about how you want to paint the future of Philomath. So let's start with a little reflection on where we've been. Starting the year off, we completed a major overhaul of our strategic planning efforts. I know this isn't the most exciting subject, but it's a really important one. Our strategic plan is essentially the to-do list that we create to help us achieve our long-term goals. In the past, the city's strategic plan has been a lengthy document with nearly 150 different goals, objectives, and action items. Everything in these plans has been valuable, but it's also been difficult to enact. This year, we had a much more in-depth strategic planning process, informed by our community outreach efforts and past community-wide surveys. The council worked with our city staff and updated our entire long-form strategic plan. But on top of that, we also identified our top priorities for the fiscal year and published those in these one-pagers, which there's plenty of on the back table tonight if you want to take a look. This document serves as our public commitment to focus on these top projects from July 1st, 2025 through the end of June 2026. This document is literally posted at the entrance to City Hall, and it guides the work that the council and our staff do all year. And I actually like to call it our contract. It's our contract with our community. It's us letting you know what you can expect from us this year and what you can hold us accountable to. But it's also our contract between the council and our staff. It's a signal of what we're empowering them to get done this year. After all, Imagine your boss handing you a binder of 150 different things they want you to get done at some point over the next 5 years. Now imagine your boss handing you one piece of paper with a list of 10 or 15 things that they need you to get done this year. Which one of those will lead to more success and allow you to get more work done? Which one will have better outcomes? So this again seems a little dry, but it has already paid huge dividends for our city. The revised process has led to much more streamlined and focused city operations, and it's allowed us to move very quickly and strategically towards enacting the challenges that we've heard our residents ask for time and time again. As we work towards the goals that became active on July 1st, we are already planning for next year's process. The council will be meeting all day this Saturday to get started on the 2026 goals. But at the beginning of the year, let's get into some of the things that have happened with our strategic planning. The city of Philomath was recognized as the first city in the entire state to meet Oregon's climate-friendly area goals. This is a program by the state government to encourage communities that are walkable, have a good mix of residential, retail, and commercial properties, have public transit, and build active communities. And folks, the best part, whether you like this or not, we kind of got this by coincidence. We did not go out of our way or really spend any additional city funds to make this happen. We achieved this simply because we were already doing those things so well. Our Downtown Streetscapes project has brought so many more people to our downtown core and made it a walkable, bikeable, inviting place for people to gather. In fact, the progress that we have seen in our downtown is nothing short of incredible. A decade ago, Philomath's downtown was a quiet place, and if you drove by on a Friday afternoon, Friday evening, you're probably not going to see anyone. Today, we have folks waiting in line, struggling to find a parking spot to get a meal from one of our outstanding restaurants. We have folks enjoying a drink with their friends at an outdoor table in the evening. We have numerous new businesses coming into our downtown, and we've seen ever-increasing foot traffic and patronage at these businesses. Whether you're looking to get a bite to eat, buy a book, have a haircut, get some art supplies, a drink, a tattoo, or so much more, you can find it in downtown Philomath. If you're looking for groceries, I got bad news for you. The council has been working to keep this momentum in our downtown, including through renewing our facade improvement grant program, which provides matching grants of up to $10,000 to businesses in the downtown area that are upgrading their storefronts. This program recently helped fund the completed storefront improvements at Dirt Road Brewing, among other businesses. By renewing this program, we want to continue to assist our small local businesses in creating a welcoming, inviting, and constantly improving downtown commercial experience. This past year, the city also launched our new Public Art Committee. This committee will work to beautify and further improve our town by working with artists and other partners to place more public art throughout our downtown, starting with these concrete plinths that were installed as part of our Streetscapes project. That's right. These big concrete blocks that everyone thinks are just weird benches are actually supposed to have art on them, and soon they will. And we're really excited about the work that committee is doing to partner with artists and sponsors to do this at a very low cost for the city. Another strategic priority of our downtown development is the city-owned property at 14th and Main Street. The city's urban renewal agency purchased this former auto shop, car wash, gas station in 2016, and we're now charging forward with plans to redevelop this property. As you may have seen driving or walking past it recently, we're nearly done with the first stage of this effort, which is the environmental cleanup and the removal of the underground storage tanks. Once that process is done, we will be moving forward with the redevelopment phase and potentially partnering with a private developer to bring new mixed-use property to the gateway to our downtown. We're also planning to continue our improvements on North 13th Street to establish it as a true community gathering place. This is where people are already congregating and spending their time in community. We want to reinforce that rather than trying to reinvent the wheel. However, we know that our city is much more than just our downtown core. It doesn't matter what our shops and businesses are like if we don't have housing to support people moving and living there. Over the past year, the city has taken significant steps to improve our housing supply. We've partnered with a developer to build an affordable housing complex on city-owned property at North 20th and Main Street, which is just across the street from the Arc. This project is slated to bring 33 units of income-restricted housing to Philomath, which is the very first of its kind here in town. And there will be no construction costs to the city. This work is in addition to ongoing infill housing development that will bring new units to the market at an array of price points and housing styles. I want to be clear. I know there's a lot more work to do to make Philomath's housing more affordable and available, but I'm really encouraged by the progress that we've seen this year. We also know how important solid infrastructure is to unlock additional economic development and housing opportunities. The city has continued to improve our infrastructure, repaving roads, replacing aging water and sewer pipes. We've advocated with our state partners about the need for proactive infrastructure improvements to allow us to continue to plan for the future. But not all of this work is physical. It's not all about going out and building something, building city infrastructure. A big piece of our efforts on both housing and economic development are some of the forthcoming updates to our zoning map and development code. And I know when you wake up in the morning, zoning map and development code are probably not the most exciting words you think of. But this has huge impacts on what can be built in Philomath and where those things can be built. Remember earlier when I said that we talk about having a grocery store a little later on? Well, now we're a little later on. So let me use the grocery store as an example of some of the importance of updating our zoning and development code. Obviously, the city is not really in the business of opening and running a grocery store. But we can and we should set the table to make it as attractive as possible for a private developer or a grocery chain to want to come to Philomath. But right now, if a chain wants to open a grocery store in Philomath, they're going to run into quite a few obstacles, including our zoning and some of our development code. The truth is that right now, there just isn't a great place in town to build a new grocery store, and part of that problem is purely on paper. We're working to establish a new commercial zone that will allow these regional commercial enterprises, which would be specifically designed for things like grocery stores and other large commercial operations which serve our town and our surrounding communities. Other development and zoning updates will make it easier to build infill housing, empower property owners and developers to do more with their land. For far too long, the philosophy around land use and property development in Oregon has focused on simply preventing bad development from happening. That's important. No one wants polluted rivers or endless urban sprawl. But we must take the next step and move from a mindset of only preventing bad development and embrace a mindset of encouraging and empowering good development. I'm encouraged by the changes underway on this front as we unlock the true potential with our development code. However, our puzzle isn't complete yet. Businesses and housing don't make a community. We also need it to be a place that's attractive, enjoyable, and safe. We must prioritize livability. This year, we've continued to improve our parks and natural areas. Our amazing public works crew did an overhaul of Triangle Park, updating the play equipment and fall surface, and more upgrades and updates to our neighborhood parks are on the way. We also removed the outdated and Chelsea, cover your ears, quite frankly, dangerous exercise equipment from City Hall. But not City Hall, excuse me, City Park. We don't have exercise equipment in City Hall. After a great public engagement process, we have landed on replacement equipment which will be installed near the front playground area in City Park, allowing kids and parents to both recreate and enjoy our parks without leaving each other's side. And coming later this year, additional safety and security improvements in our parks will enhance the visitor experience and crucially allow us to keep park restrooms open more of the year. That doesn't get clapped. I'm going to go off script for a second and say the thing I'm really excited with having the restrooms open a little more of the year is not having my dad complain to me all the time that they're closed. So, another major accomplishment this year was the completion of the improvements of Phase 1 to Skirvin Park, also known as the Frolic and Rodeo Grounds. This city-owned facility has historically played host to the Philomath Frolic and Rodeo, but the city and the Frolic are working together to turn it into a true year-round community asset. Phase 1 of this improvement project was completed just this year with the addition of new public restrooms, pathways, and a major expansion of the grandstands, as you can see here. This project was completed without spending any city tax money, thanks to generous support from the Oregon State Legislature, led by Representative Goddard, as well as the Frolic and Rodeo Board, numerous private donors, and the Oregon Parks and Recreation Department. Phase 2 is still fundraising, but we will see the renovation of the rest of the grandstands and additional ADA accessibility improvements to the facility. But folks, livability isn't just about parks. We know that. One of my proudest moments this year was seeing new bike lanes going up Applegate Street in front of our schools. I remember as a kid, I would ride my bike to school, and I would go from the safe, clear bike lanes on either side of the schools, and then all of a sudden enter traffic and be dodging cars and pedestrians the minute you make it to the schools. That just didn't make any sense. So thanks to the incredible work of our staff and partnership with Benton County, we got these bike lanes installed quickly and massively under budget. Further bike and pedestrian safety improvements are a high priority for our city council, and more work is yet to come. We are also laser focused on public safety. The council has prioritized additional training and support for our police officers, allowing them to better serve our community and spend more time out on our streets enforcing our traffic laws. After years of chronic understaffing, we are finally getting back on our feet with a more fully staffed police force. Our officers and sergeants have taken the lead on regional impaired driving task forces, which have kept our streets safe and kept drivers out of jail, the hospital, or worse. Our police department continues to take a regional leadership role, and our community is stronger because of that. As you'll see in our strategic plan priorities, we are also working to install radar speed signs on the main street entrances to town. And if those are successful, we are hoping to put them in other places, not just on the highway. We are also in the middle of launching our traffic safety action plan with ODOT and our regional transportation group. That project will identify and improve the most critical safety hazards on our roads. We know that traffic safety is a top concern, and we're committed to doing even more to tackle it. But now, not to extend the traffic analogy, let's shift gears. I've been talking a lot about things that have already happened or things that are already in progress. Let's take a moment to look ahead and see where Philomath is going. I want to tell you a story about a town where robots deliver food and medications, a local business manufactures parts for cutting-edge spacecraft, or builds molecules to assist in biomedical research. It's a town where old industries are reborn with cutting-edge practices, and residents are connected by industry-leading high-speed internet. A town where organs are 3D printed to assist surgeons in delivering high-quality care, and cutting-edge software ensures first responders can get to the scene of an emergency before it's too late. A town where a love of learning seeps into everything, fostering innovation and ingenuity. While this may sound like some far-off utopian version of the future for Philomath, it's not. In fact, it's not even a version of the future at all. It's a version of our present. It's a picture of things happening right now here in Philomath. Which that brings us to our next chapter, potential. Philomath is filled to the brim with potential, and it's our job to unlock it. I see a town that blends its future and its heritage, and builds an abundant, innovative community. Of course, we certainly have challenges to overcome. We're facing financial pressures along with other local governments across the state, with our expenses outpacing our revenues. At the same time that our city government is facing these challenges of affordability, we know that our residents are too. Balancing these pressures will be a key challenge in the months and years ahead. We need to maintain and improve our aging utility systems without breaking the bank. We are facing considerable delays in the engineering of our new water treatment plant, which combined with inflation has significantly increased costs. That will be a challenge in the years ahead. We need to maintain high quality public safety and retain highly trained professionals. We also need to maintain a firm commitment to the residents of Mill Pond Crossing and ensure that their neighborhood is livable, safe, and sound. We need to ensure that Philomath is a place that is welcoming and inclusive to all who call it home. We also see challenges coming down from above us. Instability and political choices at the state and federal level have real impacts on our community and will continue to present challenges in the coming year. Some of our challenges are challenges of our own success. Philomath's businesses have been growing quickly. So quickly, in fact, that we lack enough vacant storefronts and commercial property to accommodate new businesses looking to move here in the long term. All of these challenges are very real, and we must address them head on. And yet, each of these challenges also presents the potential for innovation and improvement. Just next week, we will be launching our ambitious Philomath 2050 Visioning Project. This effort will be convened by the city, but it will not be a city project. This will be a true community project. This project is where your paintbrushes come in. The Philomath 2050 project will bring together our local governments, nonprofits, community groups, all of our residents to chart a collective course for our future. This project is what will finally fill in this blank canvas so you won't have to see it again, and leave a roadmap for leaders who come after us. At the end of the project, the goal is to have a comprehensive economic and community development strategy, as well as a facilities plan for our entire community. We have so many great organizations doing great work in this town, but we can often act as separate islands in the same sea. This is our chance to combine forces and ensure that we are all rowing the boat in the same direction and truly unlocking this community's potential. The kickoff for this project is next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. at the Philomath Scout Lodge, and all are invited. Now, you've been great listeners, and I promise I'm about to wrap things up. But before I do, we're doing one more quiz. Does anyone remember from high school physics what the 3 types of energy are?
Potential.
We got potential,
Chemical.
kinetic, and chemical. Yes. There's kinetic energy, chemical energy, and potential energy. And I think it can be really easy to see kinetic energy. You see a rushing river. Or chemical energy. You see a burning fire. But it can also be really easy to miss potential energy. To not see it when it's right in plain sight. To not see a boulder on top of a mountain that just needs a little push to set it rolling. Now, the boulder itself doesn't have much energy. It can be easy to walk right past it while you're focusing on the fire or the river. But the way that the boulder is positioned has the potential to unleash an enormous amount of energy. And that is what I hope that we can focus on in Philomath this year. The potential that we have. There's so many possibilities for building an even stronger community. So many places that are full of potential. All they need is just a little push to get that ball rolling. I am, and I always will be, incredibly optimistic about Philomath's future. We are filled to the brim with potential, and it's up to all of us to unleash that potential. As we work together, paintbrushes in hand, to paint a picture of where that potential can take us this year, I have never been more convinced that the state of our city is strong. We face challenges, we face opportunities, and we face potential with open arms and a community full of some of the most dedicated people I've ever met. I cannot wait to work with all of you to unlock the potential that this year will bring for our community. Thank you very much. We are happy to move into a little question and answer time if folks have questions or follow-up. I think if we can all just stay seated for a little bit, and then we'll mingle, and you can feel free to come up and ask us more questions later. But any burning questions on the top of anyone's mind? Yeah.
Last night we were speaking at the Tuesday dinner.
Yeah.
And no one was really clear about Church of the Park. Is that still going to be a thing on the road?
The Church in the Park?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
I'm not either.
Okay, I can look into that.
Okay, great.
I'll check with our parks reservations folks? Good question. What else we got?
Should we bring this next week?
Those are paint or?
So if you would like to paint this canvas with your paintbrush, I hope you join us for our Philomath 2050 kickoff next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. at the Philomath Scout Lodge. Good question. All right, anything else? Oh, we got another one in front.
What's one or two things you're really looking forward to the next year?
Well, not to be a broken record, I am really looking forward to this vision process getting kicked off. I think when I first became mayor, I sat down with our city manager, and this was kind of something that I think we had both been thinking about independently, and then we sat down and we're like, oh wow, we both had the same idea, that's crazy. And so it's really been something that we put a lot of effort into, and something I forgot to mention during my presentation that is really exciting is the city actually received a $75,000 grant from the Ford Family Foundation to assist with that effort. So that allows us to hire a consultant and kind of get off the ground and not just have it be sort of an in-house thing, but truly have it be this standalone project with some financial backing to it. So that's one thing. What's another? I'm really excited, and I'm gonna look at Chris as I say this, to get the water plant built. That one, God. Yeah. Good question. Yeah.
Do you have any examples of other types of events that might be hosted at the rodeo fairgrounds?
Well, I have some, and I have a feeling there may be people in the audience that can chime into that a little more. But over the summer, there's several other arena events that are held there. They do the youth rodeo championships, they do the Mexican rodeo, and then they also use the Wood Corral, sort of the beer garden, for a lot of different events. That's reserved throughout the year for, you can reserve it for your own parties. It's also used for things like the chili cook-off. The rodeo grounds now also have baseball fields, so those are used by PYAC throughout the year for like Little League and baseball games, and that's part of what the restrooms really help with, is now it is more like a park, as opposed to like, oh, you have to pee, like, that's too bad. Like actually put some things there and make it a park. So I think that's, speaking of potential, that's one of the things that you know, that's just a lot of land and a lot of facility there. And now that it has restrooms and it has running water and it has those kind of things, it turns it into more of a park with an arena as opposed to an arena with something. Yeah, it's a good question. I can get you more details later, but yeah. Yeah.
Is there any grant money left for Main Street business improvements?
I believe there is. We just reopened it earlier this year, and have we gotten any applicants for this cycle yet?
We've got a couple. We've got a few more. Yeah.
When's
Yeah.
the due date? Like, I fly next week or?
It's rolling, so.
Okay.
It's there till it's gone. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, we would love to get more applicants. Any other questions?
And
Oh, please, yeah.
make this a future question possible.
Yeah.
This is such an artistic community. Will we ever foresee, like, for else, for example, art walk?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been really pleased with the Philomath Open Studios tour that's been organized the last little while. I think one thing that we've talked about as part of the Public Art Committee's work is, in addition to just placing art throughout the community, working potentially with Nextivity to do more of a placemaking campaign and making that more of a destination and have materials so folks can find that and everything. So I don't know if it'll be exactly like Corvallis, but we definitely want it to
Throughout
be.
the whole entire state of Oregon.
Okay.
So I've seen it in different capacities, but we have such an artistic community, and people do love to walk, and
That is true.
it is almost like a wine walk, but it's also considered, you walk through the community and you go to the businesses, and the businesses speak to you, and while you're there, you buy things.
Yes, I think you should check out the Open Studios tour. I think that's really similar to what we're talking about. Okay, yeah. But yes, we would love more of that.
Yes.
So that's a great question. In the back.
We have a growing demographic of seniors, 65 plus, which is bigger every year. Is there any talks about senior center or addressing senior needs in this community?
That's a great question. I'm gonna say one thing, which is that I think that's part of what I think gets lost in the conversation about things like the climate-friendly areas. Whether or not you think that's important, Coincidentally, those things are also great for seniors, right? If you can't drive, if you can't get around super easily, living close to the pharmacy, living close to the doctor's office, living close to the restaurant, living close to the bus line, those are all really important things for our seniors, as well as young people, as well as everyone else. So I think from a city planning perspective, encouraging more of that goes a long way for our seniors. As far as a dedicated senior center, my best answer, not to sound like a broken record, would be that would be something for the Philomath 2050 community visioning process to talk about. And that's one of the big goals with that project, is kind of looking at, you know, some folks want a senior center, some folks want a community center, some folks want to renovate the pool, some folks want, you know, there's all these different things, and kind of what are our priorities as a community, how can we work together, how can we kind of have some synergy there. So that's a good question. Yeah. Yeah.
The Applegate Street, Main Street was so pretty for the holidays. Is there plans to beautify the other side, or at least extend the Christmas trees?
Yes, I think that's the long-term plan. Is we're trying to be fiscally responsible, so every year we're buying a few more Christmas decorations instead of buying the whole city's worth in one go. So you'll see every year there'll be a few more on a few more sections. So the plan is to kind of finish out Main Street and then start going around on that. Okay, that's a good question. Yeah.
So the other two work with the library on the expansion of the library?
Yeah.
Where's that at right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the question was about potentially expanding the Philomath Community Library. And the city worked with the library district to do a sort of feasibility study and get some sort of mock architectural drawings. So we have a pretty solid plan to expand that library. What we don't have at this point is the, you know, $2 million or however much that would cost to build. And that, not to be a broken record, is probably something that will be part of our 2050 vision process. Is we all maybe want to expand the library. Where does that fall on those lists of priorities among a senior center or among a pool or those kinds of things? So we're all really into it. We have the plans ready to go. It's just a matter of kind of figuring out where it falls on our priority list and where we're getting money from. So, yeah. Okay, well with that, thank you all again very much for coming out tonight. It means a lot to me, it means a lot to our staff and our council. And please, if I can leave you with one thing, don't let this be the last time that I see you this year. I really mean it. Please come to a city council meeting, come to our events, come to our vision kickoff next week. Please engage with city government. Please send me an email, call me, stop me in the park and complain. Any type of engagement is very welcome. We couldn't do it without you. So thank you very much and have a wonderful evening.